The parts of the clutch are the clutch cable, clutch lever, heat shield spring, and clutch spring. One, install the clutch cable into the clutch lever. The clutch cable has two different looking ends. You want to take the one with the nipple piece and push it into the lever socket. Then thread the rest of the wire through the lever assembly and tighten it down. Two, thread the heat shield spring through the opposite side of the lever. Then thread the wire itself through the clutch base screw. Three, thread the clutch spring, then thread the wire through the clutch arm on the engine. Make sure you loosen the screw on the top of the clutch arm before threading. The key for proper installation is making sure the clutch arm is flush with the engine. Once you pull the clutch lever, the clutch arm should move in towards the engine. With the clutch arm pulled in, you are disengaging the engine, allowing for you to pedal and use your bike normally. With the clutch lever released, it locks the clutch and engages the motor. There are many ways and methods to install the chain. The best way we found is to remove some key components from the engine block to free the 10-tooth drive sprocket up. 1. On the opposite side of the clutch, remove the gear case cover. Then unscrew the screw pin and unscrew the flower nut. One of the best ways to remove this is to simply press the clutch cover down, freeing up the flower nut. Once the flower nut is taken off, remove the clutch cover. You'll notice that if you spin these 3 pegs that the drive sprocket will spin as well. 3. Now remove the clutch case cover. Let it hang in place once you removed all the screws. Doing this exposes the 10-tooth sprocket, and exposing the opposite side makes it spin freely for an easier installation. 4. Grab your chain and remove the master link. I used needle nose pliers to pop off the clip and then disassemble. 5. Measure the chain on the rear and front sprocket. Remove any unnecessary links. Make sure you provide little slack when measuring. We recommend about a ½ inch of play. Then, reinstall the master link. 6. Reinstall the clutch case cover. And 7. Reinstall the gear case assembly and cover. When installing the pulley, the first thing you should do is adjust the wheel position the way you want. Then, tighten it down on the frame. Place the idler on the frame and tighten it till it's snug, but not too tight that you can't adjust it. When you do adjust it, you adjust it in 2 ways. You want to make sure that the chain is tight, providing less than a ½ inch play in the chain movement. And the second way is making sure that the chain is aligned straight for proper chain guidance. Once you have it just right, tighten the bolts down. From this point, the pulley will move side to side and off position, so we recommend just watching that and making sure that when you are tightening it, that you keep adjusting it and keeping it to the position that you want it. Before installing the throttle handles, you must first remove your pre-existing grip handles. Once you've done so, dry fit the throttle grip and kill switch on the right side of the handlebar. Then, mark where you need to drill a 1/4 inch hole into the handlebar. Once you've done so, grab the throttle cable and thread the L bracket side of it into the kill switch housing. Once you have it tightened down, reinstall it on the handlebar and screw in the top piece. The other end of the cable is installed inside the carburetor. Unscrew the bottom end of the carburetor and remove the following pieces. The screw top, the spring, the plunger piece, and the jet needle with the C-clip attached, and the E-washer. You want to take the end of the throttle cable and thread it through the screw top. Then through the spring. With the plunger piece, make sure the jet needle and E-washer is in the assembly. Then thread the throttle cable through the plunger piece like this. Guide it back into the carburetor and screw it back down. Once you've installed the throttle cable into the carburetor, go ahead and loosen the carburetor screw and then install it over the manifold. With the electrical components, I'll let our technician Johnny explain it.
There are 3 electrical parts to the engine. There's the spark plug, the magneto loop set, and the CDI.
The CDI can be mounted anywhere on the bike as long as it can reach the spark plug. The spark plug is placed on the head and the magneto loop set sits inside the engine.
When it comes to wiring, you may need to splice the wire, which involves cutting and stripping the insulation away from the tip of the wire. But otherwise, it's pretty simple. You just plug in the male to the female end, and voila.
So you connect the black wire from the CDI to the black wire from the magneto and the green wire from the kill switch. These wires are your ground wires that complete the circuit. Next, the blue wire from the CDI connects to the blue wire from the magneto and the red and yellow wire from the kill switch.
Now you can check to see if you're wired properly by moving the spark plug and checking for spark.
You have to make sure it rests on the head cap to ensure visible spark. Rotate the rear wheel while engaged to create spark.
Once you have all the major components attached, install the remaining parts. Screw on the exhaust. Install the gas tank. If you have a larger diameter top tube like this bike has, you will need the wide gas tank mount. To install the wide gas tank mount, it requires a little bit more elbow grease, but it is definitely worth it. Take the wide gas tank mount and bend them straight. Then, bend them by where the holes are. Do it for both brackets. Then, install the gas tank. Once the gas tank is installed, install the fuel valve and fuel line. To install the chain guard, thread the front into the long stud of the clutch case cover, then tighten it down with a nut. Use a zip tie to attach the guard to the frame. making sure you provide room in the chain and the tire so the chain guard doesn't rub up against it. Great, your motorized bike installation is complete. Here are a few last words in regards to maintenance and fuel. Your engine will start and ride rough in the beginning, and it's normal. Brand new engines need time to break in and let all the seals and gaskets set. The following is the fuel ratio for the break-in period. The break-in period lasts for the first 4 tanks of gas. Oil dripping out of the exhaust is normal during this time period. It is excess oil that hasn't been burned from the engine. After the break-in period, the fuel ratio is as follows. Other videos, tips, tricks, and how-to tutorials, come and visit bikeberry.com and check out our YouTube channel as well.